everybody, welcome back to the channel. As you can see behind me, got my own Volkswagen T4 in the workshop today. So this is a long wheelbase T4, and what we need to be doing is looking at getting the gear linkages, the bushes replaced because they're currently worn, and I also need to adjust the gears because first and second gear can be a bit temperamental to get in. So I think the actual setup on it is just a bit too far to the left, so we'll get that looked at today as well. So yeah, let's take you and have a look and go and get a closer look at what we're going to do. So this is the linkage in question. You'd have seen this many times if you've got a T4. The question is asked an awful lot. So we have this arm here that sorts out the gear selection, and under this there is a bush that needs replacing, and then that there is a sleeve, and inside that is a bush that's connected to the other side of this long arm here. So you get a couple of types. You get your plastic type bush, which is near impossible to put on in the van, or you get your more rubberized type of bush, which are super hard to get hold of now, but they can be done in situ, warming them up and sliding them on. In this case I can't get hold of the rubber type bushes, so I need to use the plastic ones. So what happened was this bush under here, this is actually snapped in half and broke when I was at Dorset Volksfest. Literally got in the gate, lost first and second gear, and it was because of this bush. So I managed to fudge the bush on in a fashion, but it's not all the way on. When we take it apart you'll be able to see. So I've driven probably nearly 1,000 miles now since with that in place, but I'm just not happy with it being like that, so we're going to swap it out. But yeah, so that's the linkage. So what we'll do now, get it pulled apart and have a look at it. So as you can see, the bush isn't actually on properly. It's still got to be pressed on. It's a hard plastic one. Getting that on in situ isn't going to happen. Warming it up is not going to happen. So the whole arm itself I am going to take out. So I just need to pop the bush out from this side, then that releases the arm, and then I'll go underneath the van and remove it from the horizontal bar that this rod connects to. So we're under the van now. What we have is this long rod here. This is the rod we need to replace. It runs through this linkage. This linkage, I've done the short shift mod, so I've moved the original hole on this side from here into here. That enables the short shift. That linkage runs all the way to the front of the van where the bushes are. So we're going to remove this. We're going to undo this nut, and we should be able to slide this out. Getting it out is a bit of fun, and we'll see how we go with it. But yeah, that's what we need to remove. So this is on a pinch bolt, so you're going to need a couple of spanners, or at least a spanner and a ratchet. That should be loose now. So this is going to be a bit of a fight, but hopefully I can get this out. As you probably also noticed, the support beam that runs from the gearbox to the chassis, this one, I'll remove this also for the clearance upwards. So all being well, I can hopefully get this out. Well, that was painless, to say the least. There we go. So that's the rod there in its entirety. Obviously, this here is the arm for the jack, not anything to do with it. But you see the two bushes, you have one this end, as you can see it's not on properly, and this one I put on about 5 years ago. I'm going to grease that up, it's still doing its job. It doesn't actually look too weathered. So let's take this over to the vise now, and then we can hopefully press this plastic joint, or this plastic bush, onto this arm more, and then that will be the fix completed for that, which would be great. Then I can get it back together and look to adjust my gear linkage, because of the selecting first can be a bit of a pain. So let's go for it. Okay, we're set up in the vise. Fingers crossed. Push this ball in. And this is not a easy job by any stretch, especially when the vise isn't fixed to the ground. Getting that home is a challenge. There we go. So as we can see now, the ball is completely pushed in. Now if anybody knows a way to do that with plastic ball in situ, I'd love to know, without having to remove the arm. As I said before, this one is still good. Literally no wear on that whatsoever. So I'm pleased. At least now I can be rest assured that I'm going to have no problems with that coming off anytime soon. So I've just greased up both balls. What I can do now is put that back in, and that will hopefully help keep things sliding along nicely. Okay, we're all back together. So I've greased up the ball underneath here and greased up the ball back into this socket here. We'll go underneath the van now, and then we'll show you it all back together under there, and then look at actually I'll show you first what I've done to put the gear in place to be able to set the gear linkage. So what we do for the gear linkage is leave it in neutral, and what I've done here is I've got a 10mm drill bit inside this part that keeps the gear stick away from this wall, and then I've also added a sort of 10mm strip this side just to take any movement out of the gear stick. So now I can go back underneath, and then we can then tighten up that pinch clamp onto the stick, onto the linkage, and then that should give us the basis for being able to get all our gears. So let's give it a go. Okay, so as you can see, the linkage is all back together. This pinch bolt here just needs tightening up now, and then that should set the gears for us. Then the last thing to do is to tighten up this one here. So let's do that now. Okay, so that pinch bolt is all back up nice and tight now, so what we can do is remove those wedges that we put in to centralise the gear stick in neutral, and hopefully we've got gears, so let's check it out. So this wedge here on this side, that prevents this living against here, which is what it would do if if the bolt was loose underneath, because this naturally wants to live against this wall. So we put in this bolt here, just between the gear stick and the housing. That prevents it from being able to live any further this way. So a 10mm bolt, or 10mm drill bit in this case, is what I've used, and this on the other side, as I said, is just a sort of 8mm wedge part to keep it from moving to the left. So effectively now what I should be able to do is select all the gears. So let's give that a go and see how that works. Clutch is down, we're in neutral, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, then down and across and up for reverse. Happy days. 5 gears in reverse. We're all sorted, ready for Carry On Camp Out this weekend. Really looking forward to it. It's our first time going, and apparently the Slaughterhouse Custom boys do put on quite a show. So if you do see us there, give us a shout. We've got the T5 next. That will be the next video. We're going to get those windows cut out before it goes to paint. It's actually going to paint later next week, not this, unfortunately. But such is life. The sooner we get it back, the sooner we can get it built and off to its new owner. So thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're not. Smash the thumbs up button because it always helps, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers.